homosexuality, transgenderism, and transhumanism is an abomination to God. Mm-hmm. It is a sin. And if you are going to live that life unrepentant, you are going to face hellfire for all eternity. What's worse is if you claim to be a Christ follower or a Christian, which I don't even like the term now because we've sullied it so bad. If you are a Christ follower and you are supporting and encouraging this, there's a difference between loving the sinner and hate the sin, and going so far as to say that loving the sinner is to encourage the sin and support the sin. Sin does not have a stop sign.
Yeah.
You are dragging somebody to hell with you.
Yeah.
Because that is going to be your final place. You are facing eternity in the lake of fire, separated from God. I think we all get the feeling that something just isn't right in the world. Welcome, fellow foilers, to the Tinfoil Hat Club, where we dare to discuss all the things we don't talk about in church. And where yesterday's fiction becomes tomorrow's fact.
When you've got a government that's lying to your face, controlling the information through the media that it owns, that's not a recipe for peace in a civilization.
Atomic. The electromagnetic waves affecting our planet.
Megalithic cyclopean sites.
Anderson Cooper, intern for the CIA.
Watchers in the days of Noah.
Well, hello and welcome to the Tinfoil Hat Club. I'm Kyle.
Yeah, I'm Ben.
And thank you for joining us yet again. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. A little new flair to the trailer. We're getting fancier as the day goes on. So
yeah,
that's fancy stuff, right?
And some neon lights on there.
Oh, fun. It was kind of fun, right? Getting neon.
A little sizzle.
A little sizzle and fire explosions at the end. Kind of fun.
Yeah, that's like my favorite when we go out to eat to a Mexican restaurant.
Oh, they bring you the sizzling skillet?
And I never know what that is, and I always miss it, and I hear it coming, and I'm so jealous.
Should have got that.
Yes.
I know, right? It's kind of funny. All right. Well, if you are joining us and you are joining us live on the tinfoilhatclub.com, or you're joining us live on YouTube or Rumble, go ahead and drop us a comment. We can see all of your comments. Drop them in the live or in there. We can see them during the live chat. They're feeding all in here to us, and we'll try to incorporate some of your comments into the show if we can. If you are hearing this down the line, then you're probably listening to the regular edited podcast release that's going to come out on Spotify or Apple or 80 million other places that we're on. You can always join us on our live streams. We record every show live, whether it's Ben and I or Ben and I with a guest or whatever the case is. And you can do that by heading over to thetfhc.com/live stream. So thetfhc.com/live stream, or you can go over to the website and click the watch live button. That'll be right there on your screen, and you can find out what we have coming up, all of our live shows, and you can actually click the little bell icon and mark your calendars.
Yeah.
Also, while you are over at the tfhc.com, please do sign up for our newsletter. There'll be a pop-up that kind of comes on your screen, whether you're on mobile, whether you're on desktop, and you can actually sign up and you will be on our newsletter list, and we will keep you up to date on everything foil. We'll give you an invitation to our private Facebook fans group. Okay, so that is closed. We only do it by invitation only, or if you request access, we'll give you access that way. But not everybody can just get in there. We do vet that to make sure that we don't get people in there spamming people. And you will also automatically get a coupon in the mail for 20% off your first purchase in the merch store. So if you buy $5 million worth of stuff, which would be fantastic, please buy $5 million worth of our merchandise. Or you buy $10, you're going to get 20% off your entire order. So take advantage of that. Again, the tfhc.com.
5 million.
Yeah, please do.
Ether.
Yeah, there you go. Also, you guys, we'd love to have you be a member of the show. So if you're listening to this and you don't want to hear advertisements anymore, there's a great way to get around that, and that is to support the show and become a member. So you can actually go to the tfhc.com and click on members, or you can go to the tfhc.supercast.com. We have 3 membership levels that you can be a part of. There's a $5, $7, and a $9 level. The $9 level is going to get you access to all of the HD content. That the only way you're going to see the HD content, unless we're running some kind of special or some kind of open week where we're going to give you access just to try it out, which is more rare. You can actually sign up to be an HD foiler for $9 a month, and that is going to get you access to all of the gated HD content. And if you become at least a regular foiler at $7, you will no longer have to listen to ads. And we thank you for supporting the show. So again, head over to the website, thetfhc.com, and click on members, or the tfhc.supercast.com to find out more about membership. Okay, well, we also have one more thing that we want to let everybody know about before we get into the show today, which is events. So if you want to find out what events we have going on, the tfhc.com/events, or click on the events tab when you go over to our website. We do have an upcoming event, I believe on January 29th. I think it's starting at 8 p.m. And it is Understanding the Afterlife. So if you guys think that when you die, you just go to heaven or hell, that is a very, very, very incomplete view of what actually the Bible has to say about the afterlife. And it's really important that you understand how the afterlife works, because it informs so many other aspects of your Bible, and you are really going to fail to understand so many aspects of your Bible if you don't understand how the afterlife works. So join me on the 29th at 8 p.m. I'm going to do a 40-minute presentation, and then we'll have a 20-minute open Q&A with everybody. And if we run long, I'm perfectly fine with that, so it might go longer than that. But yeah, tickets are $9, but if you join, they are completely free to HD members. Mm-hmm. So there you go. You can devote your $9 to showing up, or you can go and just get a month subscription and get all the other cool stuff that comes with being an HD member. So if you are an HD member already and you want to get access to your free tickets, head over to your Supercast site, and you will find out directions over there how to get access to all of that. All right. So with that, I think we are ready to get rolling for today. Somehow, what's going on here with my Chrome wanting to take over our life, but we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. So yeah, we kind of had originally talked about maybe discussing I got a little fuzzy here on my mic I got to get rid of. That's driving me nuts. Talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls, but I think we're going to put a pin in that, because I think we need to talk about what has happened during the first week of the Trump presidency. And just the various state of the world, what it means, what's going to happen, the things that have been done, the things that haven't been done, and what maybe this means for the future. Because I think it was maybe easy for everybody to breathe a collective sigh of relief that we wouldn't have to suffer through 4 more years of the insanity we've had, and to some degree, and whether you voted for, the other group or not, whatever the case is, that's fine. It's been really interesting to watch the last 4 or 5 days. And I've watched more. I've been watching more of the first week of the Trump presidency than probably any news that I've watched in a long, long time.
We watched the inauguration. That was it.
Because you wanted to see if his head would get turned into spaghetti sauce?
No.
Because, we were all thinking that was a possibility. Come on.
No, not that. It was just
to see.
Yeah, and we missed the swearing in.
Yeah, I didn't catch that either.
But we watched some of it. And
what was your draw to do that? Because you guys normally don't watch a lot of it. So
no, our daughter Ellie asked if we were watching it.
Interesting.
And we're like, I guess we'll turn it on if we give us something to talk about with them. I know that sounds like a cheap thing.
It surprises me that she would be interested.
She likes maybe since some of her classes are geared around that.
Yeah, so she's maybe more interested in it than before.
Yeah, I mean, she's. I don't want to get into everything.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So, but it's just like we have our own stake in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's,
yeah.
I can say I didn't vote for him. Well, I didn't vote for anybody. So
I know I was really debating on doing that too, but eventually I made the decision to go ahead just because I felt like I couldn't not, because I couldn't stand by and not fight the other side. Yeah. And I know that's a horrible place to be, right? To pick the lesser of two evils. And the thing that I came down to is, okay, I got to be rational about this. I don't like him as a person per se.
Yeah.
You know, I have gained a little more respect for him this week as a person because I've seen a very different Trump this time around than I saw the first time, which has been refreshing. It doesn't make me any less leery of him, but I have a little more respect for him.
Yeah.
We'll get to that here in a minute. But ultimately, I just came to the thing that I kept telling everybody of like, well, I'm not voting for the prom king. I'm voting for someone that can get the job done and reverse policy and reverse course on all this crap that's been done the last 4 years.
I will say the big one to me were the releasing of the files.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
Wow.
I don't know where that was on your topic list, but
I don't have one. It's just you and I having a good talk today. We haven't had a good talk together for a while. Just you and I. It's been guests and stuff.
Okay.
And we've been busy and sickness and everything else.
Most people know me that I don't believe, like somebody said they're going to, right. This is what it's going to be, I think, with the releasing of the Kennedy files and Martin Luther King. If either it's what it was.
Yeah. Like actually showing what it really happened.
Yes. Or everything's redacted.
That's what I'm worried about.
Everything's marked out.
Yeah, right.
Or it was, but nobody's going to be happy. It's like,
right. Is this just going to be another dog and pony show?
Yes.
And it sounds good on the surface, but then
we're
not going to really throw
I
egg
think
in
if you're
face.
going to release it, okay, I'm doing this now. It's open. As soon as I sign this, here, nobody has a chance to change it. It's out there right now.
Right. Yeah.
Like video of the moon landing. Let that.
I think what you mean by that is video of the not moon landing.
Yes. That's where I'm at, because it's like 5, 10, 15 days. You can change that.
Yeah.
You can shred paper.
Yeah.
That's what's scary to me.
Yeah, me too. Because I think we all know at this point the way that things have been delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed.
Oh, yeah.
Like, come on, we know we're guilty. Nobody's going to be shocked. I think why not? Nobody's going to be shocked. The other thing too is like there's so many other documents out there that clearly point to paint the CIA in just the most evil light in the world.
We did a show about that a long time ago, didn't we?
Which do you refer? Only every show. The only thing keeping us alive is lack of popularity, Ben.
God.
Yeah, that too. God and lack of popularity. Yeah. If we ever become big enough, we're a threat. We're probably going to start
just remember,
eating,
we are on God's fridge.
Cyanide sandwiches.
But we're on God's fridge. We're some of his greatest artwork.
I like that. There you go. Yes. If the Lord wants to keep us alive, then he'll keep us alive. If not, we get a promotion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm just greedy. Please poison my wife at the same time so we can be together. It's terrible. I'm kidding, honey, but kind of not. And you probably want the same thing. So this is a horrible, horrible thing.
Boy, this is really just took a nosedive.
We're gonna have fun today. This is gonna be a fun one today. So yeah, it's been crazy to see. So that was one that was funny because it was like, I've watched a lot of stuff because I have been tickled to death watching this because what I'm seeing is I am literally seeing what the name of the show is. I am watching a man that is literally in 5 days, 6 days now at this point as we record here, that literally has done more in 6 days to destroy the cabal than anybody that I can think of in history. In 6 days. I mean, it has been an absolute
you were telling me about
wrecking ball session.
I don't follow. I mean, like I said, I don't follow this stuff much because I don't really,
Yeah. So he started off in day one, and there's all the pomp and circumstance and balls and parades and all this stuff. And a lot of people don't realize why they do that. I mean, it's a celebration and all this, but the White House is being completely turned during that time.
Yeah.
I mean, they come in and they literally take out all the furniture.
Yeah.
Because the first family gets to pick what they want in the White House, right? Do you want the Resolute desk? Do you want a different kind of desk? Because a lot of presidents haven't used the Resolute desk. They want to use something else. Color curtains, paint, flooring,
Yeah, it's like, was it 4 or 5 hours?
It's like 5, 6, 8, maybe 6, 8 hours, something like that. Yeah. And they completely turn the White House.
Yeah.
Everything. And
it seems like they'd just have a button in the since it's oval, it would just spin.
Rotate. It's like what was the old He-Man dude that he rotated his face?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Many faces.
Many face, man, faces. Yes. Look at you. That's great. I had that little dude. That's awesome. Thank you for the childhood memory there. But yeah, no, they do. They completely overturn the White House. So that's like the Super Bowl day for them. That's got to be like not fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're doing all that, and then but he was signing executive orders at the parade. Like he's signing executive orders at the parade.
Yeah, what was the first one to redo all the green stuff that he?
Oh yeah, he completely reversed course and has reversed all of the Green New Deal stuff that Biden wanted to do.
Yeah.
He pulled us back out of the Paris Climate Accords because we got back into that.
Yeah,
I don't remember anything with the nuclear deal, with the Iran nuclear deal. I don't know what's going on there because there's a whole different issue there. Pulled us out of the World Health Organization, withdrew from the World Health Organization.
Whoa.
And then, it was like day 2 or 3 was when I think it was day 3 was when he was back in the White House that night after he went before the World Economic Forum and told them that he was going to destroy their entire plan. We'll get to that here in a second too. That he signed a couple different bills, but the last one was the declassification of the records for JFK, RFK, and MLK. And he actually handed the pen after he was done. He handed it to the aide, and he was like, "Hey, give this to RFK Jr." Because RFK has always said that Sirhan didn't kill his dad.
Yeah,
I'm like it, and seems like all the information that's come out about that is like he was part of a, CIA mind control experiment.
No, really?
Oh, I know. Go figure. Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see how this really plays out. I was worried like you were that what's the big deal? Who cares? We get all these documents released and it's like marker, page after page of black marker.
Yeah. Just say their names. They're dead.
I think that not quite everyone that's probably guilty is dead yet. And I think, who I think the last one was that they were waiting to die? I think they were waiting for everybody to die. And I think maybe you're right. I think maybe everybody now is dead. That matters, like at high level.
Yeah.
And you knew who I think the last one was that they were waiting on? Because you got to remember, Trump had the chance with the JFK assassination records to release these when he was in office. 6-8 years ago now, and he didn't do it. He deliberately. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. He deliberately delayed it.
Yeah.
And I think they were waiting on Bush Sr. to die.
Yeah. No.
Director of the CIA, right?
Yeah.
Definitely guilty.
Oh.
Evil as evil gets.
Yeah. The whole family.
Yeah. Skull and Bones, Bohemian Grove. We have never done a show on that, but we've got it on the radar at some point too.
Yeah.
Yes. I think he was waiting on Bush Sr.
I'm sorry. Did I say that whole family? Yes, I said that whole family.
Oh, well, there's a whole bunch of them.
They're all in it together.
They are. We got some great shows coming up too, everybody. If you're listening to this, we've got some shows coming with people that we're going to get into bloodlines, and I think some of the conversations we're going to get into with Dr. Lake tomorrow. So tune in. I forgot to mention the live streams we have coming up tomorrow is actually an HD only episode. So you need to go on and you need to become an HD member. At least sign up for a month, right? Give it a shot. And you can actually catch our show with Dr. Lake tomorrow. And we're going to get into bloodlines and all that kind of stuff.
And then Tuesday, Joe Horn.
And Tuesday, Joe Horn is going to join us. Yes. And that is completely open to everybody. You do not have to be an HD member. So those are both 6 o'clock, I do believe.
Yeah.
I think so.
Going to be good.
Should be good talks. If you're not familiar with Joe Horn, you might be familiar with his dad, Tom Horn, who actually was a founder of Skywatch TV, Skywatch News, with Derek Gilbert, and now it's Joe is running it with Derek. But yeah, it's the first time we're going to talk to Joe. Really looking forward to that. Joe's a good dude.
Yeah, he is.
So we got some good shows where we're going to get into a lot of things, a lot of these things with these people.
Yeah.
So, and then future guests we've got that are going to be crazy. I've had talks with these people, and it's so cool how God has placed us at the intersection for all this stuff.
I know, that's what we were talking about last week.
Yeah, it's really neat.
And I was some of the stuff you were telling me last week. I was telling Maria about it.
About these conversations with people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when we got home, and she's like, "When were you going to get all these people just sit down and together and have a good conversation. I was like, that would be great, wouldn't it?
Could fill the convention center, baby.
I know.
It'd be fantastic. But yeah, we're going to have some great talks with these folks.
Yeah.
It'd be really good. But yeah, I think they were waiting on old Bush Sr. to die. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And we'll see how quickly it happens, right?
Let's see who else could be alive. But you know what?
Most everybody's dead.
Probably, I will say, probably Carter was probably the most innocent president.
Yeah, I think so. Pretty naive. I think he was kind of naive to stuff.
Yeah. And I think they kept it that way.
Yeah, there's some good leadership lessons there about how people are. And I think the reason he got defeated was, I think it was a little bit of his naivete.
Yeah.
He got kind of naivete is what took him out.
Yeah.
And Reagan took him out.
Yeah.
Reagan spoke to the people's needs, and he was more whining about how hard it was to be president.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, dude.
And his brother going around drinking.
Oh, Carter's?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't familiar with this.
Oh, his brother. Yeah. I think it was maybe, I don't know, but remember, I thought he had he was always doing commercials, like he was drinking beer, driving a truck, like,
oh, I don't remember this.
Pushing beer or something.
No.
I could be totally wrong.
Well, was it Carter's daughter that took Larry Flint from Hustler 2 and was trying to get him straightened out?
Maybe.
I think it was Carter's daughter. She's trying to get him to find Jesus, and he was flirting with it for a while, but in a really twisted, weird way. And then he just totally denounced it and went right back to his old ways.
Of course.
Well, yeah. Smut peddler.
Yeah.
Makes money. It's only worth a few $1 billion now.
Yeah. Is he still alive?
I think he's probably still alive.
Yeah. If that's living.
Well, I hope he enjoys it while he's here.
Yeah.
Because the likelihood is he's not going to be enjoying his afterlife. No. Oh, well, yeah, he's in the middle of not enjoying his afterlife. He died February 10th of 21.
Uh-huh.
Yep, he was 78.
No. You
ever watch that movie?
No.
Woody Harrelson is him. It's kind of an interesting movie. It was horrible, but
I have nothing good to say.
No.
And that's pretty bad.
No, not a good thing.
No.
So yeah, that was interesting for him to do, and he did that on day 3. That was on the heels of him going before the World Economic Forum, because they're having their little, evil powwow in Davos.
No.
What?
What's his name? Schwab?
Yeah, he was the one that introduced him. So Klaus Schwab is up on stage, and he introduces Trump, and Trump basically goes on for the next 15, 20 minutes and line by line says how he's basically either already started the process or is going to destroy everything that they wanted to do. He doesn't say it that way, but come on, that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
It was like a line by line itemized list of all of your great reset stuff that you've been trying to do these last few years. Here's what I've signed into law already with executive orders, or what we're going to get passed that's going to basically destroy it.
Now, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I told you what's going to happen earlier. I'll share it on the show here.
That's what
You set me up.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. I think assassinating him is not enough. It doesn't really solve the problem, because I think if you got Vance in office, he would just continue with the same thing. I think a lot of them would.
Yeah.
I think you've got a whole group of people together now. It's not like JFK, right? I said this earlier when we were talking. It's not like JFK. The reason they killed JFK is JFK made everybody inside the government mad.
Yeah.
He made the military mad because he refused to go along with their full-on plans of getting in a war with Castro in Cuba. He wouldn't go along with Operation Northwoods, which was a false flag operation to get us involved there. He wouldn't go along with false flag operations to get us further involved in Vietnam.
Yeah.
He said he wanted to fracture the government into or the CIA into 1 million pieces, right? I mean, he just did everything he could possible to tick off the establishment, all of the power establishment in the government.
Yeah.
And they weren't going to have it. So while they've got Lyndon Johnson, who's one of the most evil men to ever walk the earth, definitely the most evil president we've ever had.
Yeah.
Maybe the second most evil president we've ever had, because I think the first one might have just been in office, but I can't stand that guy. He's awful, but he's definitely up there. I think he's much more conniving than Biden.
And there's this guy that came out. I don't know if you've seen this video I did the other day, and he was talking. He said he was talking about a conversation he had with Biden, and he asked him about something that I think it was like with drilling the well, like oil wells.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Why did you stop that?" He said, "I didn't stop that because I signed a paper." He goes, "I signed in to something to check it out to make sure it's okay." So what he thinks was people were telling him one thing, and he was signing something else. Which I mean,
it could happen because it's so convoluted and complex, right?
Yes.
So I mean, I could, to defend him a little bit, which is horrible, but just to be fair,
to me, it's I would say just let the guy have his ice cream.
Well, you got to say, like, it's pretty wicked and evil when literally the last act.
Oh,
I mean, like a few seconds before you leave the White House for the last time.
Oh, I know.
To pardon your entire family.
Yeah.
Preemptively pardon your entire family.
Wouldn't you?
If I was a dirtbag?
No, I mean, if it was...
If I was a dirtbag, yeah.
But like right now, if you had a chance to pardon, like what?
Preemptively pardon?
Yes.
No. Well, my family hadn't done anything wrong, and if they did, they need to get punished for it. I'd probably be the first one to throw them in jail.
I forgot.
No, it's like no, because you the minute you do that, I feel like I would be kind of almost slandering them in a way, right? Because how can you do that and it not have the connotation that you're guilty?
I kind of wish that his sons would have went to trial because it was a very important case.
Yes,
it was about it was a gun issue, wasn't it?
I think that's how they found the inroad to go after him.
But that would have been a very interesting.
They were trying to get him for way more than that, right? But that was the inroad.
But that could have set precedent on other cases as well, and the outcome could have been good. Kind of like I always go back with David and Kyla.
Yeah,
you never know what's going to happen, but this was kind of an easy way out, and the easy way out could be easy right now, but make thousands of people something like that happen, and something bad happen to them. With how our system works.
is.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from. They asked Trump, because I guess he was considering doing it when he left office the first time.
Yeah.
And he didn't, obviously.
Yeah.
He said that he felt like it would have made it seem like his family was guilty.
Yeah.
And one of the other things too, and we'll see, right? Look, it's been encouraging to see what's happened. There's an undoubted reversal on a lot of things that needed to get reversed. I have no doubt about that. But some of the things are lip service right now. I'm not saying that they're going to stay that way, but right now I'm hearing a lot of good things, but I want to see these things actually happen. Kind of like we talked about with the record release, right? And I'm like, okay, this is awesome that we're talking about this, but is it actually going to happen?
Yeah.
And what does it look like when it happens, right?
Yeah.
Is it really going to be completely open or whatever? And, he said one of the things that he wanted to do was stop the use of the weaponizing of the justice system.
Yeah.
Right. Political weaponization of the justice system. And if that's true, then he wouldn't really use the justice system to go after people because that would be a violation of what he has said. And he felt like they did to him. Right.
Yeah.
And he's done some pretty boss things over the last few days because, obviously, in addition to the pardoning of his family, which is just gross. I mean, come on, dude, that's just wicked gross. That's just because he knows these people. He's guilty.
Yeah.
Okay, he's guilty. His kids are creeps. He's been a creep his whole life.
I mean,
he's a dirtbag.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, yeah, I think
he's just a senile dirtbag now.
Yeah.
But the preemptive pardoning of like Fauci right? And on all of this, so one of the things he just did the other day that Trump did was, okay, you got a preemptive pardon, so we can't go after you. But you know what you have right now that I'm not going to let you keep is your federally funded security detail. He pulled that. And they asked him, like, would you feel guilty if anything happened to him? And he was like, no. Why would I? Like, you're no longer in the government. Why would you have a security detail?
Yeah.
He's retired. He's no longer in the government.
Yeah.
But, you know, the one thing that I am seeing this time about Trump that I've gained some respect for him that has been very apparent to me. The first time around, his arrogance really showed. Like, because he didn't know the game, right? He didn't know how everything really worked, and he didn't really know the game. So someone like him who has a personality like him, he responds to that with name calling and like kind of like childish response things that someone would do, right? He's very controlled this time. He's still outspoken, but you can tell when he talks, he knows how the game is played and he knows how things works, and he's very calm and he's very much in control. And I think that will allow him to be a much more effective in what he's trying to do, because he's not so easily sucked into the ego battle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's what I can stand about him before. It's like, I like a lot of the things you wanted to do, but your ego and your personality is just so barfy that I can't stand you. And I'm going to play a clip here. It's like 30 seconds long, but it's awesome because you can see the confidence in what he's saying. And it was just funny how he answered. It was most politicians would answer this question that you're going to see in this clip here in a second in a way that would be evasive. You know, they would give you an answer of this long-winded, circular Pinocchio style answer. And he didn't do that. And this was right after he finished signing the release documents of like the executive order for releasing all these security documents for the assassinations. He had made mention in his speech to the Davos crowd, which we'll kind of circle back to here in a minute, that he was going to force the Fed to lower interest rates. Well, he really can't do that, right? Like he doesn't have the power to just whip a pen and say you're going to lower the rates, because he doesn't control the Fed that way.
Yeah,
but he can influence the Fed, and he knows that. But in the speech he gave to Davos, he basically says that he's going to force them to lower the rates. So this reporter is asking him the question of like, how are you going to do that? Are they going to do that? Are they going to listen to you? And I'll play this just to watch. And this kind of goes into what I said about him being more controlled than I've seen him before and put together, like where he's not getting rattled, like his tone of voice and everything. So this is kind of interesting. So I will cue this up and play it for everybody here. So.
To be cheaper for the American people and actually for the world, but for the American people. So I'd like to see oil prices come down. And when the energy comes down, that's going to knock out a lot of the inflation. That's going to automatically bring the interest rates down.
You said that you would demand that the interest rates come down.
Well, I would put in a strong statement.
Do you expect the Fed to listen to you?
Yeah.
Are you going to talk to Cabal about this and bringing the rates down?
At the right time, I would.
I just love yeah, I do. Because he knows how the game's played now, and he knows how to leverage them.
Yeah.
Just like, he went, it was kind of funny. He just kind of smirks and he goes, yeah. Like he went to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia and he's like, the guy's talking about investing $500 billion in data centers right here in the US. And he said, I'm going to get $1 trillion out of him. And people were, kind of asking like, you think you can do that? And he's like, yeah. He wouldn't say how. And he's not going to say how, because he's smart enough to know that he's not going to do that, because he doesn't want to put the Crown Prince in a bad spot.
Yeah.
But here's how he's going to do that. Saudi Arabia has always been the number one export, has been oil, right? Okay, well, you just told everybody one of the first things that you have anchored your entire campaign around, and he's already started the process, is increasing our oil production, right? To lower all of everything, because everything is hinged, like we talked about earlier today. Everything in this country, price-wise, is hinged on oil and travel and costs, right? Power, energy. And he is going to increase our production to the point probably that we have never, ever seen in the country's history, because we have been sitting on more oil than probably anybody has in the world.
Yeah.
And we've been sitting on it for decades.
Yeah.
I heard
stupid just to
it is. It's ridiculous, because eventually, I mean, we're getting to the point now where like we can see that the technology is finally starting to swing in the direction of eventually we're going to be good enough to get rid of these things.
Yeah.
I mean, just as a natural extension.
Yeah.
It's not there yet, and they're trying to push it way early. But eventually we're going to get there. That's the drive, right? When we bought Alaska from Russia, we have more oil in one reservoir at one point in history, probably a decade or two ago. There is more oil in this one reservoir in Alaska than the world has already used multiple times over.
Oh, I know.
In one reservoir up there.
Yeah, and it's just
sitting there. We typically, I think, have reserved it for military use only. We've been, giving our own people, because you don't want to be relying on someone else giving you gas, right? When you're in war, you want to be able to provide your own. We're going to tap into all that stuff. So when you are talking to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, what he's going to say to him is he's going to say, you can either invest $500 billion in data centers and help your country, or you can invest $1 trillion in data centers and help your country and keep your oil, resources and your income from your oil. Or we'll go ahead and just use our increase in production and buy $500 billion less than oil from you guys, and you'll lose it that way. Well, which would you like?
Yeah.
And so he has leverage over this situation, and he knows that. He's never going to say that in public. I can't fathom that he would. But that's what's going to happen, because everything is hinged on energy. If everything at the store, right, everybody gets enamored with the gas pump. Oh, yeah, I went to the gas station and I filled up the car and it was $2.90 instead of $3.90. Yay.
Yeah. And
it's like, well, no, it shouldn't be $2.90 either. But that's not the problem. The problem is across the pump when the diesel price is still $4.10, which I drove around today and I could tell that everything was $4.10.
Yeah.
Like, as long as the diesel fuel stays at that price, nothing is going to come down in price.
No.
Inflation is still going to remain high because all of the energy prices are high.
Yeah.
So that's going to be his number one thing that he does. And I guarantee it won't take hardly a month or two before we start watching gas prices fall through the floor.
I can't. I hope.
Right?
I hope.
Because you're now tooling around. You probably, do they pay for the gas in the car?
No.
In the truck? You pay for that.
Oh, I drive my own car.
Oh, you're not driving the truck for the job?
Once I get there.
Okay. But yeah, you're still driving everywhere on your own. So yeah, I mean, anybody that's got like if you're driving Uber or whatever, or any job where you're having to drive to work. Like my old job, I was driving 30 miles, one way a day.
Yeah.
So 60 miles round trip.
Yeah.
Before the week's over, I'm putting a tank of gas in.
I remember when my dad, when we were living in Indianapolis when I was a kid and we were driving up here on Sunday, we'd stop and get gas. I remember this because it's burned in my mind. One of my brothers got it. My dad's going to put gas in. So he puts it, and I think he accidentally put in 89-cent gas instead of the 79 cents.
10 cents more.
10 cents more on the gallon. And I think my dad was kind of upset about that.
You cost me $2 extra at the gas station. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
We don't bat an eye now over 10 cents.
Almost 40 years ago.
Yeah, I know, right? Back when you had to lower the license plate to get to the gas cap.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how old I am.
Yeah, me too, brother. That's why I said it.
But it's, I remember gas being, it was like we tell our kids when me and my wife first started dating, $20 was gas in the car, a movie, and dinner.
I know. Yep. Amen. It's a true story.
That's for two.
Yep.
$20.
$20.
Now $20 won't even buy you
McDonald's.
Yeah, it won't.
No.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and service has never been worse.
Oh, service.
So you get $20, your food is worse.
Yeah.
Because it's all filled with chemicals.
Yeah.
And the quality is typically less than it used to be.
And
the service is trash. And the
yes.
service is not even close to what it used to be.
Yes.
Yeah, it's atrocious.
It's weird what happened. In just like 5 years. I still think what happened 5 years ago was the rapture of all the workers. I still say that because they all disappeared.
They did. Well, but I can tell you why, because we started paying everybody to sit on their butts.
Yeah.
I lived it, man. I was still working at the time. I lived it. I watched this firsthand. I studied it. I know what we did.
Yeah.
And I can show you all the good governmental charts that you ever need to see, where I can show it using their own math and their own charts.
Yeah.
Like this idiot that just left office, and he is an idiot. He's evil, and he's a fool, and he's evil to boot. One of the things that he was touting going out the door in one of his farewell speeches was how he created all these jobs. And I'm like, you moron.
I don't know.
When you wreck a whole bunch of jobs and you turn around and create other jobs, that's not like a net positive.
No,
you idiot. He's an idiot.
I don't know where the jobs were.
And it's, who knows, voodoo math.
We both have kids that have been looking for jobs.
Yeah.
Nobody. It's like, where are the jobs?
Yeah.
What's going on?
He's whatever. He's evil when he's gone. So he's hopefully we'll get his just desserts someday. So we got a couple comments here, Ben. Let's look at the comments. So first of all, hello everybody that has made a comment in the comments. So hello. Looks like Sherry says gas is $4.69 there in Southern California. $20 is the tip. So are you going to a gas station and they're filling you up and then you got to tip $20? Is that how that's going in Southern California? They got gas stations where you tip. They got a bunch of Swifties out there.
In some states, you can't get gas.
Somebody have to pump it for you.
They have to pump it for you because you're not, like in New Jersey. It's that way. I know that because you're not certified to put gas in your car.
Joe's here, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, your brother Joe's here. He says, I'm here for this one because of Ben's hat.
Yeah.
So there you go.
My Bigfoot. Yeah. And you can't see it. I'm wearing a Bigfoot shirt too.
Yeah, he is. He's rocking. I got this undefeated hide and seek champion of the world. I love it. Yeah. I love it. My favorite was during COVID was the social distancing champion.
Funny, speaking of California, I got this shirt in Northern California when we went out there for vacation. One of those roadside little pop-up things. Yeah. It was the county where the Patterson and Gimli film was shot. Yeah. So,
where people still believed in freedom.
Yes. And so I had to get this because it was just so awesome.
Oh, she says not the gas station. She said the tip at dinner. The subject changed.
Hi, brother Joe.
Yeah. So Joe Truitt is actually Ben's brother.
Yeah.
So
he's been on the show too.
He's been on the show. Yeah. He wants to debate on preterism, but we don't do debates on this show, Joe. You're going to have to, we can do a debate off camera though. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I think it would be good though.
Should we do a debate?
Yeah. I think it'd be fun.
Oh, yeah. Joe might be back on. And it wouldn't be like a mean debate. It would just be a fun.
Yeah.
Fun. Like, hey, here's this side. Here's this side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe Ben's talking me into it, Joe. There you go.
I'll be the moderator because I really am not fond of conflict no matter what kind.
Spoken like your father's son right there. So $4.69 in Southern California. So Sherry, what's diesel out in California? It's got to be like $45 a gallon, especially with your idiot governor. He's another little demon that we got to get rid of. MKIN63 says, something I've been considering is Trump being one of the 10 kings that rule with the Antichrist. I don't know. That's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Maria is concerned, like that the dream she had.
Yes,
because it would be this time.
Okay, so we kind of got sidetracked, and I didn't finish my thought on that.
Yeah.
Earlier of what I think is going to happen.
Okay.
So again, he's done so much in such a short period of time, and this is going to continue to get worse. He has made no bones about it. When he, like I said, when he got up in front of the World Economic Forum, that was almost like, to me, knowing what they want to do. And for that, anyone that doesn't know what the World Economic Forum is, you need to go look it up, and you need to go read about their 2030 plan and all the crap that they want to do. They are evil. When we talk about the cabal and all the secret evil behind everything, they meet every year at this time in Davos, Switzerland, and they're evil people, okay? They're globalists, and they want to create a utopia without God. That's exactly what they want to do. They want to reduce the populace. They want to create control, and they're evil people. And when you go in front of the most evil people in the world and you basically tell them, without saying it overtly, but you're doing it in a way where they know exactly what you're doing, that you are going to have already started the process and going to continue the process of destroying all of their plans, they're not just going to go, well, wasn't that fun? Darn it, we lost. They're not going to do that. They're going to do something. So here's what I think they're going to do. Assassinating Trump isn't going to be enough. They're going to have to attack, and they're going to have to weaken and destroy. They want to destroy America anyway. They know that they can't move forward with their plan until they destroy America as we know it. That's the whole plan of everything from the get-go. They were trying to do it through means of monetary means and policy and all this. Yeah. That's exactly what you saw the last 4 years with Biden and what you've seen from the left becoming so extreme over these last decade or two. That didn't work. It's all falling apart quickly. So now I feel like they've probably been, they have to be meeting right now and thinking, we don't have any other option. We have to attack them and destroy them. And the only way that you're going to do that is by having people gang up on us together, right? I think that we are going to have either one or a series of simultaneous nuclear attacks in this, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. A series of simultaneous nuclear attacks in this country that will be done via proxy. And it'll either be a combo pack of Russia, China, and Iran or something like that. But what they're going to do is they're probably going to use their little stool pigeon in North Korea because he's just itching to nuke somebody because he's got them and because we let him have them.
Thanks, Clintons.
Yeah, right. And everybody else after that didn't do anything about it. He's itching. They'll use him, or they will use one of these terror organizations like they did on 9/11. Well, there's a whole nother show, but you know, right. They will use Hamas. They'll use Hezbollah. They'll use one of these terrorist organizations to get in here and to detonate these. Yeah. That's my concern. And I think this is going to happen April of this year. And you know why I say that? You know why I say that? So that was Adrian's dream that she's had for years. Yeah. My wife has had a recurring dream for a long time.
It's a past show.
It is. You can go look up what was one of our early shows with the girls?
Yeah, it was before we went video.
Something prophecy.
Yeah.
Paganism and prophecy. Yeah, I think we had the girls on for that. Yeah. And they both talked about their visions. The one that you talked about earlier with everybody being in concentration camps, that was Maria's.
Yeah.
And then Adrian's she's had this dream since she was young of a nuclear explosion. And there's a man in she thought it looked like a pillbox hat, but it was probably just his haircut.
Yeah.
But it was definitely an Asian man. And so she's racist. But no, she's not. Just kidding. Well, we're going to get in so much trouble today. No, she's not. But this was the dream she had. And that the bomb detonated. And the person was laughing, and they said, "This is payback for what you did to us."
Yeah.
And there was a date in the sky, and the date just said April 25. Yeah. She thought that meant April 25th.
Yeah.
And I don't think it, in hindsight, now means the 25th.
Yeah.
I think that might mean April of this year. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I always throw these disclaimers out there. I'm not crazy saying crystal ball.
88 reasons why Jesus is coming back in 1980.
25 reasons that we're going to get nuked in 25. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I just say that I'm a little leery, and a lot of these things seem to be lining up now. The other reason I think that is a plausible date is because that is right around the time of the true Jewish New Year, and would be the actual start of the 70th Jubilee.
Yeah.
Which we know the house 70 is a sacred number, when you talk biblically.
Yeah.
And yeah. So the pillbox and the thing was probably more his hair. Yeah. So she had made a comment over here. So I want to make sure I correct that. So, yes. So as far as Sherry responded to my question about the diesel price in California. Pay attention to the diesel prices, because while we get affected by the unleaded gas, and that's what costs us directly, the diesel fuel is what costs us indirectly far, far more, because it's the diesel fuel prices that are dictating all of the prices at the store, the price for all the goods we buy, whether that's groceries or the shirts we have on Amazon. It doesn't matter. Everything is affected by energy. So
yeah, like the whole thing that just still throws me for the loop is the Gulf of America.
See, okay, now I don't want this all to be I've been excited about a lot of things that he's done, but there are some other things where I'm like, you just can't help yourself.
Yes.
Like, who freaking cares?
And for local people, it's still Deer Creek.
Or the Hoosier Dome.
Or the Hoosier Dome, yes.
We went to go have lunch earlier, and they had fold-up seats that were from the Hoosier Dome.
Oh, I didn't know they had them there.
Yes. They've gotten some new decor in there.
We haven't been there in about a month.
Yeah. We have this place where we go get brisket tacos, and it's like, so amazing. I call it and I'm a fat kid, so take it from me. I know what I'm talking about. I told the owner, I said, your tacos are what I call death row food. And he looked at me at first like, whoa, what are you talking about? And I went, because if I was on death row, this would be one of my the things that I would consider as my final meal. And he thought that was the coolest thing ever. So yeah.
He should give you a menu item. Death row.
There you go. He's already got them. Brisket tacos.
I know. They're so good.
My goodness. It's just lethal.
I know.
So anyway, yeah, pay attention to the diesel, man. That's what gets you. But yeah, I'm afraid that they're gonna wind up attacking.
I hope not.
I hope I'm wrong, and I hope not too. But I'm a little concerned.
Yeah,
because this is like JFK on steroids. He declared war the other day at that World Economic Forum. He did. That's exactly what the man did. Yeah, it was like, no, I'm telling you what's going to happen. I'm destroying all your plans.
That's scary.
And he just told everybody in the country here that's leftist and wanted to go along with it that,
yeah.
Sorry about you want to have multiple genders. Nope, not anymore. There's two genders. There's male and there's female. Oh, you want to have DEI? Nope, not anymore. That's all gone too.
See that? It's ridiculous.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion, which winds up being division. I had an acronym for it at one point, but I think I've forgotten it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just winds up being completely the opposite of that.
Yeah.
You just you
exclude everyone.
You do.
Else.
It's exact. Yeah, that's what I said. It was the division, exclusion, and idiocy or something like that.
Yeah, because
we become the most hated demographic in that system. So what you do is you just flip it over, right? You don't fix the problem. You just create another one.
Yeah.
I was at my former employer and they got heavy into this crap. It's one of the reasons I left. But they basically told me every day, every week that they wanted to hire anyone but me.
Yeah.
We want to hire more women. We want to hire more black people. We want to hire more Asian people. We want to hire this age group. We want to hire, everybody but who you are.
Yeah.
Well, if we flip that around and we did that for like us and we told everybody, like everybody that's black, we want to hire anybody but you black people. How would that work?
Yeah.
Or anybody but you Asian people. Yeah. I mean, we can't do that. Why don't you just hire the most qualified person?
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I've been saying for a long time is like we've gotten away from merit-based system. It used to be merit-based, right?
Yeah.
Like your grandpa could go work for the grocery store and start off as bagging groceries, but then eventually become the CEO if he stayed with the company for 40 years because he worked his way up through merit.
That doesn't.
Nope, never.
No, nope.
We went to a networking-based system right around the 90s.
Yeah.
Where you now didn't move up because of merit, you moved up because of who you knew.
Yeah.
That could get you in the door.
Yeah.
Well, eventually when you get to the top of a company, that's why we have all these companies going out of business.
Yeah.
Because we got a bunch of idiots that are running them.
They had no idea what they were doing.
Anheuser-Busch.
Oh, yeah.
The guy's like 35 years old and he's the CEO of Anheuser-Busch, 40, I don't know, maybe 40 years old, 35, 40. He has no hardly any work experience to be CEO of a company that size. And look what the stupid thing that he agreed to with the marketing campaign that basically lost them billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Did they fire him? No, he's still there. Where did he come from? He came from the CIA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, go figure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, go look it up if you don't believe me. He didn't directly come from the CIA. He left the CIA and went back to school for a while, got a business degree, and then hired on as like a vice president or a regional level, some really high position for like Coca-Cola or Frito-Lay or somebody. Nobody does that unless you know people.
Yeah.
Who's going to hire you with no experience at that high of a level? That doesn't happen to people. You know people.
Yeah, I know.
And then he works there for a few years and then moves over to Anheuser-Busch and like another higher level. And then he's there for a while and gets promoted to CEO. It's a joke, but that's what we have.
Yeah. As the Who said, meet the new boss. Same as the old boss.
Yeah. Or the devil you know is better than the devil you don't.
It's actually, that's true. I mean, there's a lot of truth to that.
It is there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah. I mean, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, I watched this man with the flick of a pen in 6 days basically declare war on an entire world that wants to destroy everything and burn it to the ground and create their little utopia.
Yeah.
Now, could he wind up unwittingly, or maybe he's just really slick in being one of the 10 kings that rule with the Antichrist? Yeah, very possible. I'm watching. I'm hopeful so far, but I'm watching close. And he does things like the Gulf of America, or saying that he's dead set on getting his hands on Greenland. And I'm like, we suck at what we already control. Why don't we focus on that first, and we'll talk about Greenland? It always reminds me of that skit I played for you. Did you play the kids that skit?
Yeah.
So the skit we're talking about, and I
won't.
I won't
35 years old.
I won't play it on here. Yeah, it's awesome. I won't play it on here. You guys can go look it up. But it's from an old show called Mad TV. Just like a Mad TV president skit, and you'll find what it is. But it's basically this guy wakes up. Had a whole bender and he's drunk, and there's a Secret Service agent sitting at the foot of the bed, and he finds out he's president. He's been president for a while, and he's basically lived his entire presidency drunk, and everybody thinks he's the greatest president ever. But at one point, he literally, is asking the Secret Service agent, what are some things that I did? And he said, well, you've increased the size of the United States by 3 states. He's like, what? How's that? And he goes, well, you went into the United Nations and you said, Cuba's ours. You got any problem with that? So that's how we picked up Cuba. It was like Cuba, Germany, and Saskatchewan or something.
Yeah.
It's like, how did I get Saskatchewan? It was a straight up trade with Canada for Aerosmith. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a great skit. You guys need to go look at that one.
I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Cuba. Why don't we just absorb Cuba?
It couldn't be any worse than Puerto Rico. I mean, Puerto Rico is so poorly run. It's a used territory. We've never made it a state, though, which I've never understood that. Like, why don't we make it a state? It's like
they get all the benefits without paying taxes.
Yeah, it's like, how does that work, man?
But I think they have to vote on it.
They're like, no, we like this arrangement.
I would too.
Of course. Why wouldn't you? Yeah, that's been the other thing, and it's been funny. We've been talking almost an hour, crazy enough. But that's another thing too that I understand both sides, but I have been watching the last few days because one of the huge things too is shutting down the border, right? Stopping the flood of problems through the border, right? Now, I watched a lot of our brothers and sisters in Christ who are just having a meltdown over this because they supposedly, and I have never seen anybody actually have this, so I want to know where this came from because it feels like disinformation. There are these flyers or whatever, or these posts going around on Facebook that says, report illegal aliens, call this number, da-da-da-da. But the thing is, the number is always blacked out, and people are sharing this and they're like speaking out against it.
Yeah.
But I can never get to the source of where it came from.
Yeah.
So I think it's just to get everybody spun up into a tizzy. Like we're going door to door to like Nazi narc on every illegal alien.
On one of the local chatter groups here, they were discussing this.
Okay. Did they have this post?
Not the post,
okay,
but the whole like illegal thing.
Okay.
And they said they need to go into the local business park and get all those people. And me, if you're here working, it's fine. To me, that's not the person, that's the problem.
And they have, and to defend the Trump administration, just to be fair, not to defend them, just to be fair, they have said very clearly that who they are going after first and foremost right now are people who they already have records of that have committed crime, of some kind of violent crime, and they are in the country and they have a good idea where they are.
My thing is, nobody talks about how many people Obama kicked out of the country.
Oh, no. And they're never going to.
He was like the number one guy.
Deporter?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that makes sense because right around the time frame when he was coming office, they were running this hard.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, we're going to fix the border. You know, Hillary was up there going yay, rah, yay about the same thing.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, of course, when Trump wants to do it, it's awful and evil and, you know, xenophobic and blah, blah, blah. And you're targeting immigrants.
But the whole thing of the conversation, you know, I love armchair people.
Oh, of course.
They're
most of the time uneducated.
Yes. And they're just, and I'm like, well, it's got to look at the Constitution first instead of just, you know, the number one thing that I took away from most of the comments, they wanted everybody gone. Deport everybody. Yeah. Well, you can't do that either.
It's not going to be reasonable. And I will tell you, I have worked with people. Okay. I watched this happen. I worked with a person. I had a person that worked on my team who was here legally under a visa, and they had applied to have get citizenship and were denied for no good reason. There were no criminal records.
Yeah.
Okay. They applied to have their visa extended and they were denied. And so the decision basically was forced upon them. Do we go back to where we came from? Or do we just try to stay here and live illegally and just try to hedge our bets and have a better life? Because the reason they fled their country was because they had cartels.
No.
I talked to this girl, and I believe her. They literally were threatening her and her brother that if they did not run drugs for the cartel, that they were going to kill their entire family.
Yeah, I believe that.
And they were like teenage kids.
Yeah, I believe that.
So they fled to escape that.
Yeah.
And then get here. And then they go to New York. They had to go from here to New York to go before a judge to try to get citizenship and their visa extended. And this New York judge, which we know that the New York justice system is corrupt as corrupt gets.
See, it needs to be easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we have good people like that.
Yeah.
Who, she was a great worker.
Yeah.
She was a great worker, great person, fluent speaking English.
It's more than just, everybody says Mexicans. It's more than Mexicans.
Oh, she wasn't even, I don't think she was from Mexico.
It's
if I remember correctly, she was from another country.
But that's
it's Spanish speaking country. That's down in that same area.
But that's the thing. And it's like, it's more than that. And you know, I think America's minds.
Everybody's a Mexican and illegal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. Their minds are small.
Oh, very, very small. The other thing too is like you go out to California and like if you took a person from India, and I've been guilty of this, I'm ashamed to say, it enlightened me to my own biases. Going out to California for the first time, especially Southern California, where Sherry's at, you see people out there that when you see them here, you probably are going to be right to assume they're probably first generation, just here, right? Yeah. Recently here. Yeah. And probably don't even speak English in a lot of instances. And you would more likely than not be right.
Yeah.
Whether you consider that racist or not, I don't really care. It's just the fact that we have, as human beings, we can reason and we know like when the vast majority of the time you're right about something, you're going to assume that's going to follow through, right? That's just what we do. When you go to California and you try to apply that, you are going to be wrong the vast majority of the time because those folks out there, a lot of them look like the folks here, but they have been here and they're like second, third, fourth generation. Yeah. They've been here a while and they're completely legal.
Yeah.
Right. You know, what we seem to be targeting in the Trump administration are these violent people so far. Okay, so far. The other thing that is kind of being talked about, but not being talked about a lot, is we have a huge problem with on the northwestern border. We almost have a bigger problem on the northwestern border than we do on the southern border in a lot of ways, because the Canadian border, up where these sanctuary cities are in these extreme left-leaning areas of the country, are are allowing and they are getting through, and we're probably letting a lot of people in here that want to cause harm to us from that terroristic perspective or spy or whatever the case is. And so the Trump administration knows this too, and they're working really hard to get that shut up too. Within the first 2 or 3 days, they had already scooped up like 700 and some people that were trying to enter the country illegally.
Yeah.
In like 3 days. I don't even think it was 3 full days.
Yeah.
And they have tried to deport them. And I've heard this before, and I don't know if it was confirmed, but then I read one earlier that was confirmed. Supposedly they had them loaded up on military aircraft, and I know that the person that's in charge of this, I forget the guy's name, said that there were flights leaving daily with folks on them, and they tried to land in Mexico and were told no, they couldn't land and had to come back. And then we just tried to go to Colombia, the military aircraft, and land, and we were told no there. So Trump turned around and went, okay, fine. So he slapped them with a crap load of tariffs on all of their imported goods.
Yeah, that's not good either.
I get it though, but like, what do you do with these people if their own governments won't take them back? Because why do they not want to take them back?
Yeah,
because they know they're criminals.
Are they? My question: are they even from there?
You know, once you get loaded on a plane, who knows, right? I wouldn't be the. You know what I thought? I'm like, what would they do if you kind of reach this stalemate? I would not be the least bit surprised if they literally just fly this plane over the country and put them in parachutes and say, you know, Pulo Cordo or whatever, you know,
when like,
or hook them up like they did in World War II, where the minute you jump out of the plane, it automatically deploys for you. Stand up, hook on.
Last year, Maria went to visit her family in Mexico, and they said none of them want to come up here.
No, they're terrified.
Like so they say most of them are not from Mexico. They're from other countries coming through Mexico.
Yeah, they're using Mexico to come through.
So it's not technically Mexico.
Yeah,
it's just like Canada. They're coming from another.
Yeah,
they're just.
Yeah,
it's a way.
It's not Canadians.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a situation where we have to work with the governments of each country, and I know he's already having kind of a little bit of a whizzing contest with the female president of Mexico.
I know
that they're not fans of each other.
What was it?
She's going to lose though.
What was it?
I can tell you.
He was one of the things to make Canada a state. Might as well make Canada Mexico. It would take care of the problem.
Yeah,
right?
But when he says that on the heels of talking about getting a hold of Greenland and changing it to the Gulf of America, you start to wonder if like what you're going to do to make that happen.
Uh-huh.
Well, they're going through a huge change, just like we went through.
Yeah,
they got rid of Castro's baby. Well, yes. And for those of you that don't know, in Canada, Justin Trudeau is the son of Fidel Castro. I am confident enough that if I had a large sum of money, I would put the money on Castro's baby. I believe that to be true.
Just as much as I believe that Barbara Bush was the daughter of
Aleister Crowley.
Yes.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. But they did. He just resigned, right? You saw that. Well, the reason he resigned is because this same thing happened with him that happened with Biden. The poll numbers came back, and he is so hated by the Canadians that there was no way he was going to win re-election. So they basically, party-wise, said you need to step aside and let someone else run.
Yeah,
and they're going to lose. They're going to lose the election.
Yeah,
and the guy that's going to more than likely take over is like one of their conservative guys. His name is Pierre or something. I forget the name of. He's kind of awesome to listen to. He's like a more put together Trump. He doesn't say such crazy crap, and he's more articulate. But he's really good. If like you think you're going to corner him, it's not going to happen.
Too bad Peterson wouldn't have ran.
Oh yeah, Jordan.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of interesting. Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what this guy does with him. If he'll pardon him for some of the things they've charged him with.
Oh, it's so stupid.
It's crazy, man. That's how far they've gone.
It's all about your feelings.
It's all about your feelings.
I don't care about your feelings.
God doesn't care about God loves you, but he doesn't care at the end of the day about your feelings if your feelings override his law and his will.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about your feelings.
Yeah.
Your feelings aren't going to get you to heaven.
They're not.
No, contrary to popular belief. Know your birthright, as we talked about upstairs. You got one way. You can either individually accept Christ, or you can choose not to do that and have fun with the consequences.
Well, I'm glad my feelings isn't going to get me to heaven, because I pushed them down into a deep, dark hole where nobody's allowed to even look at them.
Oh,
like all.
And if you're a
Gen
psychologist out there, Ben's number is
just like all Gen Xers.
Oh my goodness!
It's in a deep, dark hole that nobody will see.
Sherry thinks so too. Shit, yes, Trudeau is the son of Castro, and this is fun. If you think we're crazy, which you probably do, you listen to the show and you obviously like it, so you're probably a crazy person too.
Yeah.
If you're not hip to this, just go look up Pierre Trudeau, who was Justin Trudeau's father. And you take a look and you tell me, look at Justin Trudeau side by side with Fidel Castro with no beard. And you tell me, by the way, there was absolutely proximity for them to have this happen.
Just like Bush's
and Crowley.
And Crowley.
Uh-huh. Hey, I was talking to somebody, one of the conversations I've had with featured guests the last few days. And one of the things that came up about that was, do you remember something along the lines too of Gene Roddenberry hanging out with L. Ron Hubbard and he hung out with them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't misspeak. I tried to do a quick search, but I couldn't find it.
Pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure too. I'm pretty sure along the lines we've picked that up somewhere.
Yeah.
it's all wicked and evil, man.
I know.
It's all wicked and evil. Let's see. DEI causes planes to fall out of the sky. That's you're seen Rob Schneider talking about that.
No,
how he doesn't want a DEI pilot when he's traveling around. He wants the most qualified pilot. Oh, that's kind of a fun skit. And my wife said Deer Creek forever. And the Hoosier Dome forever. You can change. Well, doesn't even exist anymore. We've demolished that one, but yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. Oh, and the last thing. Oh, she said, is Barbara the moonchild of Crowley? Ben thinks so. He's looked into this far more than I have, so he can speak more intelligently than I can to the Barbara Bush thing.
Yeah,
but yes, he thinks that she is the love child of a Babylonian bang bang session that produced a Barbara Bush.
Wow, you went there.
Oh,
wow.
Wait till you hear where I'm going to go next. I'm really going to get us in trouble next, because I'm going to be throwing some truth on here that is definitely, I've had it. There's one particular issue that I have had it on, and I'm going to absolutely get the chainsaw out here in a second. And just I'm done. I'm done with our brothers and sisters in Christ that are supporting this, and I am sick to death of it. And they better stop, or they're going to be facing hellfire for eternity.
All right.
Which is so the other thing that happened. Did you see where they had some kind of I think it was the day after he got inaugurated. I don't remember.
The church service?
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking about that. That makes me, to me, she had such self-righteous.
Oh, yes.
And it made me sick. Really, it did.
Yeah, it should have.
And she shouldn't be a minister.
No, she should not.
Because of, it's against scripture.
As far as in general?
Yes. Well, no. Her, because isn't she a lesbian?
No.
Oh.
No,
I was assuming.
I know, based on and yes, based on how the person looked, I assumed the same. But I wanted to make sure that I was not
misspoke. I'm sorry.
That I was not going against any kind of preconceived, whatever.
Still, no, it's still wrong.
So I wanted to. And I'm pulling this.
Isn't it an Episcopalian?
She's an Episcopalian bishop, which I too have a problem with. I do not think that should ever happen. But
that just shows what kind of state that is.
Yes,
in.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm going to cover next.
Because we have covered this.
Her name is Mary Ann Edgar Budd, Budde. Is who gave the address. And if you're not familiar, it was some kind of church service. Maybe it was the Sunday before Election Day.
No, it was like
inauguration
part of
day.
the whole thing.
It was part of the deal.
Yeah.
Somehow they wound up in this church. Okay.
Yeah.
And she gives this address, and she was basically talking about how he needed to be good to the LGBTQ people and
Yeah.
various other things. And it was very left driven speech. This woman is 65 years old. She's a bishop in the Episcopalian Church. Okay. And she is married to a guy. But here's the thing you need to understand. The Episcopalian Church in general, not the Episcopalian people that go to the church unless they believe the same thing, just like the Catholics, they are full on supporting homosexuality, transgenderism, gay marriage, the whole deal.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to get real raw and honest with everybody because this is firing me up. And I have made a determination that I am not going to hold back this year because we got a lot of brothers and sisters in Christ who are supporting this crap. And I'm going to tell you right now, homosexuality and transgenderism and all of these things and transhumanism is an abomination to God. Mm-hmm. It is a sin. And if you are going to live that life unrepentant, you are going to face hellfire for all eternity. What's worse is if you claim to be a Christ follower or a Christian, which I don't even like the term now because we've sullied it so bad. If you are a Christ follower and you are supporting and encouraging this, there's a difference between loving the sinner and hate the sin and going so far as to say that loving the sinner is to encourage the sin and support the sin.
Yeah.
You are now encouraging it and you are supporting it and you are dragging somebody to hell with you.
Yeah.
Because that is going to be your final place. You are facing separation and hellfire for all eternity in the lake of fire, separated from God. And what's worse is sin does not have a stop sign.
No.
And what I'm seeing here is, and I've had some really good, really awful, irritating conversations with people here lately that claim to be Christians and Christ followers who are basically saying it's okay to encourage a child to do these things.
Yeah.
They won't go so far as to say that. They'll say things like, well, we want to accept them the way they are and tell them it's okay to be the way they are. No, you need to tell them that it's a sin and you need to speak God's word of truth to them and love them in doing that, because telling somebody the truth, if they're facing hellfire for all eternity because of what they're doing, that is an abomination to God, getting them away from that is the most loving thing you can do. You can do that in a way that's loving, where you're not beating them up over it, but you need to be truthful with them.
Yeah.
And I am watching far too many of our brothers and sisters, quote unquote, in Christ, who are sitting here and encouraging this stuff.
Yeah.
And now down to the level of children. That is why I left my previous employer, and I'm seeing it all over the place. And if you're a member of the Episcopalian Church or the Catholic Church or any church that is supporting this stuff, you need to run for the hills, because your leadership in your church is hell-bound, and hellfire and brimstone is going to face them someday for doing this. Christ made it very clear and very specific. Any of you that leads one of these little ones astray, be better for you to never have been born or have a millstone tied around your neck and thrown into the depths of the sea.
Yeah.
You are going to not like Judgment Day when it comes.
Yeah.
And it's so funny to me how these people that support this stuff, the sin has no stop sign. So they just wind up doing it to the kids too. Because if you think it's okay for adults, why wouldn't it be okay for kids?
Yeah. I know.
So I'm done. When I see this stuff and I'm encouraging everybody else, if you see our brothers and sisters in Christ on Facebook, any of your friends, anybody that goes to your church or whatever that is encouraging this stuff, I want you to go to them privately. If you can, go to them privately and tell them that they absolutely need to stop. And you can, if you need verses, let me know. I'll bring you all the verses you need to show that this stuff is absolutely an abomination to God.
I know.
People used to be taken out and destroyed for these acts.
Yeah.
So we are getting too close to the end to have this kind of stuff happen. And this bishop that we're talking about, guess what? Yeah. She's a part of the high up of the Episcopalian Church, and she's completely down with it.
Yeah. This is kind of
rant over.
We were having a discussion. We were like laying in bed. I can't remember if it was last night or this morning. And we were talking about the Nephilim.
Yep.
and marrying the women and what they were like. I can't remember. Maria said something and it kind of triggered something. But I was like, it's like, I said, I think the reason why God was so adamant about destroy that, I said, because what it leads to, and I said, and the crazy thing, it always leads to some form of drinking of blood.
Yeah. That sin has no stop sign.
And so I said, just because they took for them wives, I said, look what happened. Well, look what eventually happened. I said, men were begging God to destroy them because they were literally eating them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, and it just compounded from, an innocent little, I just took this woman to be my wife to, they're sacrificing their kids.
We stepped one step into sin unabashed, and look what we wound
and
up
we
with.
are literally sacrificing our children.
There you go.
That's what
I can guarantee you this Episcopalian, you think she's against abortion?
No.
Probably not.
No.
How could you be? If you're willing to do this, why wouldn't she be? And how do you justify that?
Yeah.
If you are okay and you're encouraging abortion, you're no Christian. You're not a Christ follower. Christ is going to look at these people someday. And you know what? This is my guidepost for life. I want my Savior to look at me someday and say, well done, good and faithful servant.
Yeah.
Here are the keys to your mansion. I don't care about the mansion part. I just want to go to heaven. All the other stuff will be gravy. I want to hear, well done, good and faithful servant. The last thing I want to hear is, depart from me, I never knew you.
Yeah, we had that discussion. We've been saying that a lot in our house.
I know,
because it's scary. I don't want to put that kind of judgment on somebody, but at the same time,
that's where you're headed.
Yes, at the same time, read the book.
That's right. If this woman thinks for 1 second, okay, if she thinks for 1 second that she is not going to hear that someday, which she obviously clearly doesn't, she thinks she's in the right.
Yeah.
First of all, either she doesn't know her Bible, or she just chooses to pick what she wants to believe in her Bible.
She has the new Bible, the erasable Bible.
Oh, is that right? It's a Etch-a-Sketch Bible?
Yeah.
Etch-a-Bible?
Yeah.
You just shake it up and it changes and you can write whatever you want?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Adrian pulled up a new version earlier today called the Y'all Bible.
No, really?
Can't go look it up. It's a true story. But yeah, to your point, it's like and to what I just said, sin has no stop sign.
As in the days of Noah.
Look where we started and look where we wound up.
Yes.
That's how we got dinosaurs, bro.
I know. We hate to say it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming.
They want to bring dinosaurs back. Do you see this?
Yeah, I know. That's why it's scary.
As it was in the days of Noah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adrian and I were talking about this too, boy. We started off with Trump, and now we're on to dinosaurs. This is the Tinfoil Hat Club Extreme today. This is good stuff.
We are. It's been a while.
We've been all cooped up.
It's been a while since we've been talking to each other.
Oh yeah, this is kind of fun. So yeah, and we were talking like they would. I think they were creating a lot of it for food, and I think they created a lot of it for work, and I think they created a lot of it to hunt us. Why wouldn't you? I mean, it makes sense, right? A lot of the dinosaurs. I think so. I think that's where dinosaurs come from. I think it was a creation of the Nephilim, and they were killed in the flood.
Well, they supposedly. Well, have you seen the paintings where they're riding?
Oh yeah, you zoom in and you can see they're riding dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah.
Boy, how did we know that before they were ever found?
Yeah,
yeah, whole nother show. So there's your teaser at 1 hour and 22 minutes for Ben and Kyle's next talk on where did the dinosaurs come from. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Ken Hovind.
It's been.
Nah, he was kind of down with that idea. Yeah. He wasn't off to that idea. Yeah, because I think we kind of talked about that with him.
Yeah,
he wasn't off with that. So kidding on that front.
Yeah,
not picking on Ken. There are things I can pick on Ken for, but I'm not going to pick on him for that.
He's been on the show.
He's been on the show twice. Yeah. It's okay. We don't agree on stuff, but that's all right.
Yeah. But
not everything. For the most part, I didn't have any problem with a lot of what he was saying.
Yeah.
But
you made me, when you said that, my mind blew it. But
we need more sound effects this year.
I know. I agree with you. I mean, I heard it and I'm like, what does this even has nothing. This is
the response of the crowd was amazing. Like, did you see any of the video?
I heard the first guy pray.
Okay. Oh, that was Are you talking about the Southern? He was like a
Yes.
black preacher, and he
Yes.
was getting all.
That annoyed me too.
It was so fake. It
Yes.
was so phony. I couldn't stand it.
That annoyed me.
Yeah, me too. Adrian too. Sorry, Adrian. I'm speaking for you.
I was just like, who is?
If I'm going down, you're going too, lady.
And I was like, who is this? And I'm like looking, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. And it was just like, and then I think was it the Catholic bishop, went out and said a prayer. His was probably the most genuine.
The last thing, he was the third one.
he was probably the most genuine.
Yeah, the first two I was not a fan of, but yeah, I agree with you.
And it was very cut and dry,
Yes.
very short.
Yeah, that's they call it a homily.
Yeah, and I was just like,
well, that's prayer. That's different than homily. But
and I'm like, that's probably the most genuine.
Yeah, of
the other two were just terrible.
Yeah. The other thing Trump wants to do that I'm not a fan of, like, first of all, I'm not a fan of Pete Hegseth at all. Zero.
I don't know
His
who that
defense secretary that he's picked. He made it to major in the Army, which is fine, but that's not near enough experience to be a secretary.
Well, it
of
just
defense.
says civilian. That's all.
Yeah. He's not experienced enough to be Secretary of Defense of this country. And I got to tell you, he has some massive character flaws that I am not a fan of.
Well,
that have been exposed.
Probably most of those people have character flaws if they're
probably so. I'm not a fan of that pick myself, but we'll see how he does. But I just feel like he's not qualified enough.
Do you think he cleared his history?
No, apparently not. And if he did, he didn't do enough. He didn't scrub hard enough because, they found all kinds of stuff that was not flattering.
Yeah.
And everybody's mad at Mitch McConnell right now. Everybody's like, should we kick Mitch McConnell out of office because he voted against him? He got passed through by one vote.
He could stay with it to vote against?
So McConnell, yeah, McConnell's still in office.
Really?
Yeah, he's not in office. He's not in lead. He hasn't been in a while.
He's up there with Biden.
I mean, I should get out my my 28th or 29th amendment where I'm like term limits, dust it off. Did you see where it was a senator or a congressman in Tennessee was trying to have an amendment to have Trump serve another term? Oh, did you see this?
I bet it happens. I guarantee
if it does, we all need to take up arms against these people and kill every one of them.
I bet it does.
Absolutely should never happen.
I bet it does.
I am so opposed to that. No way. That is like it. You've seen The Watchmen, the alternate history, like The Watchmen, where they have Nixon in office and he's he's been elected like 3 or 4 times or whatever. And dude, no. Term limits. Trump can serve his 4 years and then he can skitter on out the door. And if we like Vance, then we can put Vance or somebody in.
I don't like Vance.
Then we can get somebody else. But no, Trump does not need to serve more than 2 terms. That's perfect. I don't like 2 terms. I think it should be maybe, after this last 4 years, though, I shudder to think, I don't know if I like my idea there. I'm just going to shut up because I don't think my idea is good anymore. I would like to see a longer term, 1 term, non-consecutive. But after seeing what I just saw last 4 years, I don't think I'm good with that anymore.
I think the founding fathers, what their thing was, you serve your whatever terms and you're done.
There was never any limit put on it.
But usually they would serve.
Well, that's because it was supposed to be civil service and they all had other jobs.
Yes.
They were lawyers and farmers and, whatever, architects and engineers and, whatever. And they served their time and then they were done, or they moved to some other kind of capacity. A lot of the founding fathers were involved in politics the vast majority of the last half of their life just because they were trying to start a country. Yeah. So like Adams was, a state representative for a while. To go to the Continental Congress, and then he was sent, overseas to be an ambassador to France along with Franklin, and then he was sent to the Dutch, and then he was sent to the English, and then he was vice president, and then he was president. Yeah. So I mean, like, I still think how they did it then. The loser was the vice president. Yeah, right. You got so many electoral votes for this person, and then whoever was second was VP automatically.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that they picked somebody. I think we would have been.
Well, we just proved how that's completely pointless. You think you're in control of who's going to be even the president based on the system?
Yeah.
If you're a Democrat right now, how can you trust your electoral process
Don't
anymore?
Give me Democrats. They've done dirty the past few times.
That's because they're evil and wicked.
I feel sorry for Bernie.
Well, he's an independent now. You know what?
Yeah.
He's in it. There's 2 independents in the Senate. He's one of them.
He said he took their money, but
well, I don't blame him. Fine. You know?
Well, it was probably either run or we kill you.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
okay.
But yeah, Mitch McConnell voted against, and everybody's now like, you should get rid of Mitch McConnell because you voted against him. And I thought so too. I'm like, I would vote against him too. I'm not here to do your bidding just because you're whoever. And I'm like, I'll politely tell you, like, Mr. President, I support the vast majority of what you're doing, but I will not support your defense secretary.
Yeah.
I will not. And if that makes you my enemy, then because I didn't go along with you, then that makes you a bully, and I'll make it my life to ruin you. Make it my mission to ruin you. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
I'll support you. You can either have me as an ally or an enemy.
Yeah. But
I will not support your Secretary of Defense choice. He's not qualified. And you know that. You're picking somebody that's an ally. I'm not a fan. But we'll see how he does. But no, and everybody's like, should Mitch McConnell be run out of office because he went against Trump? And I'm like, Mitch McConnell should be run out of office because he's a demon that's been in there for like 40 years.
So who's the guy?
35, I think, actually.
So it's somebody from Tennessee.
40. No, he's been in 40 years.
That's wanting to get this.
I forget the guy's name.
He should be drug out in the street.
Yes.
I'm feathered.
Okay, we can start there. That's fine.
Well,
I'm okay.
I'm being Christian.
I know. I'm just fired up from the Episcopalian chick. She still got me fired up. It's really the whole brothers and sisters that are going along with it. I'm done with that. If you're claiming to be a Christ follower, I beat that horse enough. I'm not going to go back there.
No, they're Christians.
You have fun.
That you see what I did.
I know it's exactly what you did, and you're not wrong.
I mean,
I personally want to follow Christ.
There's a big difference.
There's a big difference. We have sullied it so bad. It's not even a good term.
I think, did we say last minute? We didn't say it. I don't even like using the word I'm a Christian.
Now, we've pretty much, I think, said that a few times on the show, and that's why.
Yeah, because
if you're a Christian, then I want no part of it.
You get lumped into some things that's
right.
That we don't support.
It's wicked. You're guiding people down the road to hell.
Yeah.
Eternity in lake of fire. No, thank you. Personally, I'm going to play the long game on that one.
So, yeah.
So there you go.
We were all with this.
Hey, that's okay because it's all about this right here, man. Down with the cabal.
Yeah, and who's I didn't know what the cabal meant. We looked it up.
It fits, don't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, sure does. You can look at the definition of that bad boy up. It fits.
Couldn't it just be Satan?
Satan. Down with Satan. Well, I got to tell you, Satan's definitely gotten kicked in the nards the last few days. He's not liking what's going on. That's why I said there's no way that we're going to get out of this unscathed.
You never know.
I mean, we'll see. God can protect and God can judge.
I don't like any politician.
Here.
From like local all the way up because they've,
Yeah.
Well, you got an earful of me earlier.
I'm okay with that. I disagree. Hey, look, I was in the same camp as you. The reason that I went and voted and did what I did to vote for him is one, I had to recognize I'm not voting for the prom king. Do I believe this person? Is he saying the things? Things he's wanting to do? Am I supportive of them? Yes, check. No problem with that.
Yeah.
It's the person that I have an issue with, right?
Yeah.
But I have to recognize and realize that I'm not voting for the prom king. But moreover than any of that, and I feel very unrepresented, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I know you and I've had this talk. I just could not sit back and not try to get the other group out. They have been so destructive.
Yeah.
We wouldn't survive 4 more years.
Yeah.
We would all be we'd be broke.
Yeah.
We'd be broke and living in communist America.
We could be.
We still could be.
It could be soon.
We'll see.
If something happens.
Yeah, we're going to just say Trump can be president forever. And then
I'm afraid that's going to happen.
We'll be back to we'll be back to monarchies before we know it. But,
well, let's say we do get attacked.
Yep.
Something happens.
Yep.
He doesn't die.
Yeah, I don't think he will.
But then I know everybody
like stay in because we're in the middle of whatever.
Yeah, martial law or something like that.
I got to tell you, at that particular point, I'll take up arms against you. I will. I'll lead it too. I'll take up arms against you. You can take it right down to the bank.
I mean, you would be. It would be a war on several fronts.
Oh yeah,
and that's scary. I hope. Our wives' dreams, I hope they were just dreams.
I hope so too. I hope you girls had too much asparagus that night or too much chocolate before bed.
But if you haven't heard or listened to that show, go back and listen.
Paganism and Prophecy.
Yes.
Yeah, that was, man, I don't even know what episode that was. This one should be, man, what will this one be, Ben? Let's see. We're talking today. Today's the 26th. So this one will probably more than likely be episode 79.
Wow.
We're going to have episode 100 this year, which will be a huge milestone for us. That episode will be coming out January 7th. I'm sorry. I said January. July 7th of this year. July 7th.
Episode 100.
Episode 100. We made it. We're almost to 80. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome year.
We can have a party.
We got to do something, right? I'm like, we got to kind of plan ahead and figure something cool out, right? But we got an anniversary episode coming up. That would be somewhere a little bit after that, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be our 2 year.
That'll be our official 2 year. Yeah, that'll be sometime in August.
Yeah.
So that'll probably be around episode 105, maybe something like that. Because you do 52 a year.
Yeah.
It probably would be Chastity's episode that she's kind of dropped in right now. We're going to have Chastity Jameson, if you're not familiar with her, from, was it Bible Apocalypse or Apocalypse Bible or whatever.
Yeah.
Forgive me for not knowing off the top of my head. I apologize, Chastity. Let's see. Chastity Jameson. So that will be, I'm sorry, I got it completely wrong. And forgive me for that. Ancient Conspiracies is actually Chastity's podcast. So check her out. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna have some great discussions with people this year. 25 is gonna be awesome. We got some new folks coming on the show that I'm really excited to talk to, and some return guests that are always good to talk to. But yeah, it's gonna be an awesome year on the foil. I'm excited to have you guys join us. So, we got a Justin Brown that just came. You got here at the end of the show.
Yeah,
you're fashionably way late. So, for those of you that don't know, let's see here. I guess there's really not any way for me to really share. But Justin, who was just on, we had a couple episodes with him. He was nice enough to have us on his show. And then he came on our show and he talked about, the name of that show was actually The Epic of Esau.
Yeah.
And that same book that Justin's been working on, The Epic of Esau, is getting ready to be available here very soon on Amazon. And I'm sure Justin will have links on his site. We will make sure that Justin's page, his guest tab, is also updated with links, affiliate links, to get his book so you can buy his book. And let's just go on here. Let's just see. The Epic of Esau. Nope, it's not officially up yet. It takes about 72 hours to get actually officially up on Amazon. So it will be available very soon. So
how's it going, Justin?
Yeah, Justin's good to have you on here, my man.
Usually he pops in.
He does. Yeah, he always joins us.
He must have been busy. He is a busy man.
Yeah, he's a busy guy. I think he's got a clone like Multiplicity.
I love that movie.
Just don't go to 3. It gets ugly. You'll be putting pizza in your wallet and going to eat a dolphin in Florida. We just watched that show not too long ago.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Gotta eat a dolphin, Steve.
He's got a rubber boot on his head as a hat. It's a great show. I love that show. But yeah, you missed it, Justin. We talked about all kinds of stuff. Ben and I were all cooped up, and we got it all out of the system. Well, we got probably a good bulk of it out of the system today. But
yeah, we did good. It's always good to
man,
just being you.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah, it's always fun.
Rekindle the spark of what started it all.
You say things like that, and it gives me the creeps.
That's why I say it.
I know. He's reaching over right now, touching my leg too. You can't see it. No, he's not doing that. I'm kidding. But yeah, you guys need to check back, man. We got some awesome shows coming up. So we've got a live show tomorrow with Michael Lake. That's an HD. That's going to be for HD, I believe. Yep. So you're going to have to be an HD member in order to get access to that one. So go over to our website, tfhc.com, click on members, and sign up to be an HD member. You can also go to our website, tfhc.com/live stream, or click watch now button or watch live button or whatever it is. And you can actually rent that show for access for like 72 hours for $9 as well. But I kind of priced it that way. So you're going to get more bang for your buck by becoming an HD member of the show, at least for a month. But
then Tuesday, Joe Horn. And
then Tuesday, we're going to have Joe Horn at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So that'll be the first time for Joe on the show, which would be awesome to talk to him. And be great. Be great to have all those guests on. Good talk with him and some of the stuff they're doing over at Skywatch News and TV. So some of the things that they're working on. Talk to him about that and be a little heavier. Probably the next couple episodes will be a little heavier as far as the topic. But hey, we got to talk about it. There's some heavy stuff going on in the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. So I guess with that, we will bid you adieu until next time on The Foil. Take care.
Bye.